Well, of course, everything was, excuse me, was dry farmed. When I grew up, there wasn't irrigation for various reasons, because they didn't have available water, or they didn't have pumps that worked well enough to, and economically enough to offset the cost or the added that irrigation would give. And I think the average farmer didn't realize that you could get higher production with irrigating anything. And originally, most of the irrigation here was done by overhead irrigation with the rainbird type sprinklers. Not much was flooded because the soil's not level. And to flood, you had to have soil perfectly level, like they have in the valley where they raise alfalfa fields and flood irrigate. And it wouldn't work well here. And a little bit along the river was they furrow irrigated. In other words, they ran water down furrows and by some of the tree crops that they had, not much in vineyard. And then they came out with overhead irrigation, and that adds even water to the vineyards. But grapevines don't, after they're growing, they don't like much water overhead. So it's only been the last 30 years probably that we've had drip irrigation here. Of course, the drip irrigation that we get now, most everything was derived from Israel, and they do work well. And of course, Israel has to have that because they couldn't dry farm. They don't get enough rainfall, so they have to have, to live, they have to have some supplementary irrigation. They don't have a lot of water. So the drip irrigation on grapevines is still somewhat debatable on how much water you give a vine and how much you put on, when you apply it, and when you stop before harvest, how long before harvest. My personal feeling, you want my personal feeling on it? The irrigated vineyards will not live as long as dry farmed. They will produce a lot more for a shorter period of time. But I don't think we'll ever live, I know I won't, but I don't think you will either, to live to see a irrigated vineyard that would live 100 years. And they could have